Zoning regulations are often a double-edged sword. They can be used to promote economic development or stifle it and protect land from development. They can be used to promote social equity, and in the past, and even to some extent today, they've been used to ensure segregation. It's all up to the goals of the elected officials in an area and the political will of the people who elected them. The lack of affordable housing around the globe is well known. Now, one of the solutions that a few areas are looking at and is starting to gain steam are changes to zoning. How does zoning impact affordable housing? Let me explain. Zoning regulations are a set of rules that govern how land can be used in a particular area. They're designed to promote the health, safety, and welfare of the community by ensuring different land uses are compatible with each other. For example, zoning regulations might be used to keep manufacturing sites away from residential neighborhoods, or they may be used to ensure that there's adequate parking for businesses, or protect the environment. Now, zoning regulations can be traced back to the early 20th century when cities were growing rapidly and there was a need to manage urban development. The first zoning ordinance was passed in New York City in 1916. Since then, zoning has become common practice in cities and towns around the world. How do zoning laws impact home prices? Both indirectly and directly. For example, a zoning law that allows only single-family homes to be built in a particular area will limit the supply of housing for people who can't afford single-family homes. This can lead to higher prices for all types of housing in the area. Zoning laws can also require developers meet certain standards for things like parking, setbacks, and landscaping. These requirements can add to the cost of building a new home, which are then passed on to buyers in the form of higher prices. A study by the Cato Institute found that states with the most zoning regulations have higher housing prices on average. The study also found that rising zoning regulation is associated with rising home prices over time. As of August 2023, there are 5 states that have outlawed single-family zoning altogether. They are California, Oregon, Washington, Maine, and Montana. Now, the states have all passed laws that allow for denser development in single-family neighborhoods, such as duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. This is a major shift in zoning, as single-family zoning has been the norm in most of the U.S. for decades. The laws in these states are still relatively new, so it's too early to say what their impact will be. However, supporters of the laws argue that they will help to make housing more affordable and accessible, and that they'll also help reduce traffic congestion and pollution. Now, opponents of the law argue that they will help destroy the single-family neighborhoods and that they will lower property values. Well, isn't that kind of the point? They also argue that the laws are unnecessary as there are already many other options to address housing crisis. Now, this debate over single-family zoning is likely to continue for quite a long time. However, the laws in these 5 states are a sign that there is growing movement to reform zoning laws in the U.S. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Would you support changes to the zoning regulations in your neighborhood that are designed to increase density and make housing more affordable? Leave a comment, let me know.